Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's time for another episode of Tuesday Talks with Tonia. I am your host, Tonia Gibbons, and we are here on another fabulous day talking with another fabulous woman. And I'm excited about this conversation because I am somewhat of a book nerd, or I used to be. I may not be as much as I used to be, but for those of you joining us for the first time, Tuesday Talks with Tonia is a platform for women, about women, to support women, to uplift, encourage women. And it's a safe space for everyone that is a part. And I'm excited today to have with me as a guest, Miss Kendra. Kendra Johnson is the founder of Beauties and a Book. It's a book club. And she's a mother, she's an actress, she's a lot of things. So I'm going to read a little bit of her bio, and then I'm going to let her share some things that we may not know. So Kendra started Beauty, Beauty and a Book in, was it 2016? Did I get my time right? 2017. Uh-oh. Well, where's my screen? Hold on. I done did something wrong, y'all. Hold on a minute. Bear with me. This has never happened. See, that's what I get for trying to be fancy. That is what I get for trying to be fancy. Well, hold on. What did I do? See, doing too much.
There we go. Oh, look like we lost you.
Hello. Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Tonia. I am your host, Tonia Gibbons, and this is a platform for women, about women, by women, to support, encourage, empower, uplift women. We are in a safe space. We talk about all kinds of topics and issues that relate to women, but even more importantly, the broader world. So today I'm excited to have a conversation with Miss Kendra Johnson. And Kendra is the founder of Beauties and a Book, above locally in Augusta, Georgia. And I am a nerd when it comes to books. I love reading. I don't get to do it as much as I used to, but I love to read. So let me give you a little bit of background on Kendra, and then we'll dive into the conversation. So Kendra's born and raised here in Augusta, Georgia. She has 3 children. I can't believe you have an 18-year-old because you don't look like it, girl. You look like you 18 yourself.
I feel like it. I feel like I had an 18-year-old.
She started her book club in 2017, started with 26 members, but they've gone down to 15. But having the smaller group actually allows them to become closer. They read all different genres of books. They have topics of discussions. They have accountability partners. I like that. And their mission statement is to empower, uplift, and motivate women to continue to grow and glow. And remember that everyone has a story. It's up to you to tell it. And once you tell it, remember, you can always close that chapter and turn that page. Welcome, Kendra.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I love that. That is when I read that, I was like, that's it. I love that. You write your own book. And that's why the topic today is, are you a page turner? Because at the end of the day, we are the authors of our own lives, whether we know it or not, whether we believe it or not. So, what got you into reading and what prompted you to start a book club?
Well, believe it or not, I have enjoyed reading since I was young. I enjoyed, back in the day, Goosebumps, getting those Goosebumps books, also the Babysitter's Club. So I've always
Yeah.
enjoyed just
Yeah.
reading in general. I really got deep into it from my older sister. She's always read a lot of books. So I'm the middle child. So I just follow her footsteps. And every time she throw a book to the side, I'm right there picking it up. So that's where I get the love for reading from. As far as what started me with the book club is, I really wanted to help a friend. She was going through something I'll never forget at work, and I was already reading a book that was inspiring me, helping me, uplifting me, and she was just going through something. And I just took the book one day and I said, "Girl, read this." I said, just read. Take some time to yourself and read. And then I literally said, "I'm starting a book club." It literally fell in my lap just like that. And little did
Wow.
I know, I didn't think it would branch off as big as it did. I put it on Facebook, and I had, I know you have my logo, but I had a graphic designer see my idea, and she reached out to me. She was like, "I would do your logo. I love the idea of having a book club." And we met at Starbucks, and the rest is history.
Wow. Wow. And that's something because you were prompted by your sister. You know, a lot of
Mhm.
times siblings, they want to be like their older siblings and they want to do what they do. And reading is a good habit to pick up from a sibling, you know. I think about I'm a little bit older than you. So
Can't keep mine.
one of my first one, one of my first books was, you probably don't even know this author, but V.C. Andrews, Flowers in the Attic. When I
I do.
tell you, I
I
read that
love
book
flowers in the
in,
attic.
I was in middle school, I think, or high school, one of the two, but I was hooked. After that, I was reading everything. Like I read the original Color Purple. Like I was always reading something in it, something because it kind of takes you away from whatever you're currently, in whatever,
Mhm.
we grew up with my mother, always trying to help take care of the children, how take care of the house and, going to school. And back in those days, it just wasn't a whole lot for us to really do as young people. And I'm not from the South, so we lived in the Midwest and up North. And reading was my safe haven when I tell you. And even now, I've started getting back into it because I had lost that for a while. How do you stay motivated to continue, especially with a book club? Do you guys meet once a month, once a quarter? How do you guys do that?
So, our last meeting, we did come up with a stable um, meeting schedule where we will now meet once a month as a physical meeting day, where we would meet at either my house or someone else's house that we're comfortable in, and then we would discuss either our new read for that month, and then on the next month, you should have gotten, if you read like we read, you should be at a either finished or at a certain point, and we'll have a virtual meeting, something like this, and we would discuss maybe first 10 chapters and dive in and see how it relates to your life or how it relates to maybe somebody else you may know or just what you simply think of the book. Um, so that's pretty much what we do. One virtual, one physical meeting every month. So the first one is the physical meeting, then the next month is going to be the virtual, and just keep going.
Okay. And so do you guys, like, when you pick a book, is it like we're going to give you X amount of time to read the book, or everybody just goes at their own pace?
For the most part, everybody does go at their own pace. We don't really put any pressure because most of the women that are in my group are mothers, wives, girlfriends. They wear many different hats.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
professional, they have different things they're doing. So
Yeah.
I don't never put pressure on anybody. Just, you need to get this done by this because the group is so much bigger than a book club. It's not just about reading. Reading is just a
Yeah.
passion that connects us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
if you finish, you
Right.
finish.
Right.
I don't
Right.
even if you don't
Yeah.
finish, as long as you got something out of that book that you can bring back to the table that you say
Yeah.
you picked up.
Yeah. How do you think people are faring now? in this day and time, everything is digital. Everybody wants to go to Google or, I actually am a board member for the library here in Augusta, Richmond County. And, the foot traffic is different into the library now. People don't like, I have to have a hardback. I don't want to read anything online. I want a book in my hand. I want a
I'm
physical
old school
copy.
with
I want to be
reading.
able to turn pages. I
Hmm.
want to be able to highlight and all of that stuff.
Yes.
How do you think the times have changed as it relates to people actually reading books, going to bookstores, going to the library? How do you think that's changed over the years?
I definitely think it's changed a lot. For me, I'm still an old school. Like the book we're reading now, I have to have the hard copy. I have to touch it, feel it. But for a lot of my readers, they do listen. They're working. They're listening to it through their ear. For me, that doesn't connect me with the book. It doesn't feel natural for me, so I don't do it that way. But the world just seems like they want everything.
Right.
Everybody's lazy. I'm gonna call it lazy. We're lazy now. We don't want to do the work when it comes to actually, and we don't give ourselves the time to relax and enjoy life
Yep.
much as we should.
Yep.
We're always running. I feel like we
Yeah.
should start back
Yeah.
relaxing
Yeah.
and giving yourself that time to be able
Hmm.
to read, because reading is fundamental. You need to take out time to read.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like you, so I brought a book to share with you because I'm getting ready to start this with a group. It's called the Prayer Powered Entrepreneur. And I'm going to be reading that with a group. Marquita Rucker, she is the founder of Influencer, and
Okay.
she mentioned it on her page one day. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that book. She's like, we're gonna read it as a group. We're gonna start February 1st. I just finished reading Ivana Orgy's Bamboozled by Jesus. When
Mm-hmm.
I tell you that book was so awesome. And during the pandemic is really what kicked me back into reading again. Because we couldn't go anywhere,
And
couldn't
do
do
it.
anything. Literally, I know you've probably heard of this author, Ashley Antoinette.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I have read every butterfly book, every ethic book. It was the whole series. Me and my girlfriend, we would be up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning reading these books, talking about the books, the chapters, and literally I would be
It's
up.
so
I haven't done
fun.
that in years, all night long, not going to bed until I finished this book. It was so
Yeah, especially
bad.
when it's good. You
She
just want
was
to know what's
like,
next. What's next? What's
yes,
next? What's next?
absolutely. My sister was like, girl.
And when you really
But
have a
that,
good reading partner, you like, have you read this part? Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. And that's exactly what we were doing. We were
Mhm.
like, because one of our a guy, a friend of ours, he actually had a book club he started and it fell off. But he got me into reading Ashley Antoinette. That was because he had started it in his book club. I hadn't even heard of her. And when I tell you, we bypassed him. He quit reading the books. We bypassed him because we were like, what's the next one? I can't, the ending, it didn't end right. I got to know what happens next. So,
Mhm.
have you found a book or an author that you like that you just have to have that next book that they've written?
For me, I just really like. I really like Michael Todd. I don't know. It's just something about his books that I really like him. I really
Okay.
like. I like his word. I just really like Michael Todd. So
Okay.
far, I've connected a lot with him for some reason.
Okay.
I just really have. If we're talking about those
Okay.
books, but yeah, that I
Okay.
would say Michael Todd.
I have yet to read one of his books, but I'm
You got
going
to get
to.
your hands on a Michael Todd.
Okay. I haven't read any of his books, but I'm going to
I
because he
like it because he
mentioned it to
keeps it
me
like
when we
down to
were on
earth
another conversation.
for our younger generation
Yeah.
too. So they need it. So you gotta kind of, I'm gonna call it dumbing it
Okay.
down for them, but sometimes you have to so they can be able to connect with
Yeah.
certain things. So that's why I kind of
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Like, and I read all different types of genres as well. I read, oh Lord, what's the name? It's Sharpa, because I turned Miss Monique onto these books. It was the something next door. It was like a series too, and it was kind of a thriller. And I'm not typically your thriller type person, but those books drew
Me neither.
me in. And then
Mhm.
I like anything that's going to help me be better. which is why we're working on this prayer powered entrepreneur and
I'm
Von
definitely that's
Orgy,
definitely going to
because
be
the
noted,
whole,
that one.
yes, it's by Kim Avery. Kim Avery is the author, and it's 31 days to building your business with less stress and more joy. So I'm really looking forward to that, because as an entrepreneur, I do have a lot of stress and not as much joy.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, let me add prayer to add whatever she got going on so that I can do this better. But as a book club, like I remember when we were younger, we had to go to the library. My mother was like, in the summertime, we had to read so many books. We had to write about them. We had to do, and people just don't push their children to do that like we did back then. Like, do your children like to read?
They do, and that's why I did start the part with our children, because again, I told you a lot of my members, we are mothers, so we just can't be the only one reading. We have to,
Mhm,
also make that
mhm,
branch out to our children. So that's why we got cuties
mhm.
in the book and boys in the book. So everybody can understand how important reading is. But yeah, I do definitely. Kendall, my daughter, she likes to read a little bit more than Carson does. But so
Yeah.
she loves the, like when she texts me, she is paragraphs. Like she loves, like she's catching on fast. Like it's paragraphs. I know she's gonna be just like me. I write poems. I feel like she's gonna be definitely my
Hmm.
mentor. Yes, I write poems. I
Okay.
like poetry books as well. I do like those as well.
Okay. Oh, so that's like that. That's the whole person of you is person who likes words. You like
Hmm.
words, written word. You want to see the
Words of
word. You want to
affirmation.
understand the word, whatever that
That's my
word
love
looks
language.
like.
My love language is words of affirmation.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. And I think about too as young people, because if reading wasn't so important, it wouldn't be so hard. And I tell people that all the time, especially for our young men, especially young men of color, because I have a 10-year-old godson and he, he hates to read, but we are getting him into a place where he's learning, because I said, listen, they build jails based off of third grade reading scores. That's how they base the number of jails that they're going to build any given year. And we need to make sure from a literacy standpoint that, especially from our communities, the African American community, that we are encouraging our children to read. And it's not just reading for the relaxation, but it's reading because you need to know and understand. Most things that we need to know is in a book or it's
Yeah.
written down somewhere. And if you don't like to read, things will pass you by. You will miss stuff. You will not understand what's going on. So it's read. I love to read to relax, but I also love to
Mhm.
read to learn knowledge. What's going on?
Knowledge.
I want to
And
know
they
what's going
expect us
on
not to.
around me. I want to know how can I be better. I want to know what
Mhm. And the way that they
about. Go
get you to
ahead.
not know anything is doing what? Putting it in a book, because they don't expect you to pick it up to read it.
In a book.
Put it in a book.
In a
They
book.
won't read it.
In a
They feel
book.
like we won't pick
That
that
and
book
that
up and
is true, and it's
put it in
sad.
that book. And they said, yeah, so pick that book up and
Mm-hmm.
read it.
Mm-hmm.
Read.
That's part. That's right. That's right. Now, from your book club, do you guys do any outings, or because one of the things I was researching some stuff online, and it was so funny. I couldn't really find any solid numbers from like the last year or two. Most of the stuff that I pulled up was from 2015, 2016, and it said, like the number of book club members there were. There are millions of big book club participants, but they didn't really have a solid number. The 2015 number said it was like 53% of women in the United States were a part of a book club. And I thought that was amazing, because you mean half of the women in the United States are part of a book club? That just, I guess because we don't really talk about it and I don't really see it a lot.
Hmm.
Like
Like if
I
I
don't
never
I
told
don't
you,
see it.
you wouldn't think she got a book club. You don't talk about it much. We don't.
Right.
But I'm so excited to be
Yeah.
back in the number with it, because last year um, I took a turn. I did go through a divorce, so it caused me, reading. For me,
Okay.
I'm big on energy, and what I won't do with my
Yeah.
ladies is, if my energy is off, I won't bring that. I didn't feel like it was fair for me to bring that energy in my group if I wasn't all the way mentally there. So I feel like I'm just so happy. I'm so refreshed. I'm back to
Yeah.
me. And that's all I want to bring to my ladies. I want them to be like, okay,
Yeah.
that's another chapter. Kendra has turned, and she's still here.
Yeah.
She's still
Yes.
living, breathing,
Yes.
and we're gonna
Yes.
keep
Yes.
on going. But it
Yes.
did.
Yes.
It took a little time for me, at that time. But
Yeah. Yeah.
because when I started it, it was the beginning of my marriage. So you got to think, you start something in the beginning, and then I had to
Yeah.
step away for a second. But I got women, because I have wives in my club. I have girlfriends and all these things, and that's why I like my women. Maybe I shouldn't say it like that. I like my women like I like my books, but I mean to say I like my members. Let's say I like my members like I like my books, different genres. I don't want it to be. I don't want like a like a first wives club. I don't want a bunch of
Right.
women
Right.
that
Right.
I still love
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
I'm still a wife at heart. I'm gonna be a wife
Yeah.
one day.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I don't want that
That's
energy.
right.
I got
Yeah.
friends that are happily married, and I need that energy for other women that
Yes.
are finna embark on that journey.
Yes.
To keep their page turning.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the whole purpose of your book club. That was the foundation for it. For everybody to uplift, to empower, to encourage. And you're right.
No
You don't
negativity.
want a group that's right. No negativity.
negativity.
I don't bring
No
no negativity around me.
No
Yeah.
negativity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. 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 And I like that because we do, as we, ebb and flow through life, things happen, change happens,
Mhm.
there's sadness, there's sickness, there's divorce, there's so many things that we deal with, especially women, because we hold stuff close to the vest, right? We try to be Superman on the outside, but we really struggle a lot on the inside because we're givers and we're nurturers. And when we go through something, it's like that kryptonite has found us, and it can literally knock you to your knees. So you do need that support to come alongside you to say, hey, all right, we're going to give you this amount of time to get yourself together to mourn, but we're not going to let you stay down. We're going to make sure that you come on back up, come on and get back in line, get back in your purpose. Because at the end of the day, we still have purpose. We still have things to do. We still have people looking at us. And, it's not to say that you don't have time to kind of go through your process. You do, but don't stay there. And you
I
need
couldn't say
people
that.
walking beside you to say, okay, all right, girl, now listen, it's been 25 years, or no, we ain't gonna let you waste time. We're not gonna let you waste energy. It's like, okay, you got about another week to wallow in your stuff. You got to
Yep,
get
and
it
that's the thing.
together.
I do not sit. For me, turning the page is not sitting. I don't allow myself to sit and ponder on the what ifs. I feel like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like it's my purpose to enjoy whatever God has written for me to follow and continue to turn the page. That's what, if He still has me here, I'm going to enjoy being here. Period.
Yeah. Period. That's it. And then because other women are looking at you as well, because there's somebody coming beside you or looking like, oh dang, that happened to her, and that's how she responded. And then when something happens to them, they don't have the strength or the wherewithal to manage it because they're looking at us, and a lot of times I tell people, you never know who's watching.
Yep.
You never know who's paying attention, and you never know how you are seen in somebody else's light. Like we may be their strength, and if we're, down or weak or whatever, not saying that we can't, but we just have to be mindful of our surroundings. Like when I get in my little funk or whatever, I'm to myself. I'm not gonna be around people because I don't want people to see that side of me unless you're really, really close with me. But because I know a lot of people call me all the time or they see me, because of you, I do this, or I watch you all the time and you inspire me. And I'm just like, wow. And that's a heavy weight to bear.
Yeah.
But I also understand that that's part of my purpose, right? Like God places us here to do things for a reason, for a season, for folks that we may not even meet. But so you always got to be checking your crown. I tell women all the time, check your crown. If it gets a little tilted, just straighten it up. Or if you see mine tilting, just come tap me on the shoulder and say, girl, let me fix your crown.
Yes. I had one of my new members. We
So
allowed new members to join, and she texted me after she went to the first meeting. She seen that it wasn't just about books. We do topic of discussion at each meeting where we take a box and we put questions that I may not want you to know. It's on my mind. So everybody just write and ball it up, and we shake it up, and we move the box around the room and just read, and then we dive in on it. But after she left the meeting, she texted me. She was like, I am so happy that I joined this club. She said, I really needed it, and I really needed y'all. And I was like, she said, I wanted to put it in the chat. I said, you could have. I said, we're older members, but we still want to hear that feeling that we're still doing what we need to do for whoever may come along.
Yeah. 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 And that is a good feeling that you're being a positive impact on someone's life. And that's what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, you may be saving somebody's life. You may be, that one time, that one conversation, that one act of kindness, pulling them out of something that could be dark. So yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
And what else is on the horizon for Beauties and a Book?
Right now we are planning. I know you said it a little early. We are working on our first trip. We are going to DC, and that's crazy that all this stuff is happening. But we are going to DC July the 26th through the 29th. So I have a book club member. She lives there, so all of her meetings are virtual for us. So we want to connect with her. So we are coming to her, and she got this whole itinerary for us. She got us laid out. We got an Airbnb. We got a whole itinerary laid. So that's the biggest thing we're working on. And again, bringing our children's book club back.
And how do people join, or how do people find you? Where do they go to find Beauties in a Book or the children's club?
You can find me on Instagram at Beauties _ in a book. So I am on Instagram, and also I don't think my Facebook is active again, but I am getting a new one because, like I said, I took a little hiatus, but I'm back. But right now, just Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook as Kendra Dawn. And if you're interested in joining, I just closed out my new members as of January 31st. As of today was the last day for any new members that can join. But and that's only because I like to keep my group sacred. We pray together, so we can't just let anybody just join. So we take out our time when we bring in new people. But our anniversary is April the 20th. We will be 7 years. And for me, the Bible 7 is the year completion. The year completion.
Year completion, yes.
But for me, it's our new. It's new for us. We starting over, so we got another 7 years going.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Was there anything else we need to share or chat about before we end this episode of Tuesday Talks with Tonia, Beauty and a Book, Miss Kendra?
No, I enjoyed you, and I love your podcast. It's beautiful. I love what you do for people like me to be able to come on your platform and express what my passion is, and also yours. So I do want to thank you for the invite.
Oh, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I tell people all the time, I appreciate people's time, because you don't have to do it. And I know everybody's busy being mothers. We're working, we're, helping our communities. We're doing a lot of things. And for anybody to give of their time, for me, is absolutely a pleasure for me. So thank you for joining. Look forward to seeing you out and about in the community. And don't forget this book. And then also Bamboozled by Jesus, Yvonne Orji, Orji.
Got it. And let me see that one. Yeah. Got it. Thank you. I think those are going to be my personal reads. I might get stingy with those two.
Well, we appreciate you guys for joining us for another edition of Tuesday Talks with Tonia. I'm your host, Tonia Gibbons. Until next time, stay safe, keep each other encouraged, lift somebody up in prayer, be nice to someone today, tomorrow, and always. Y'all have a good evening.